Okay, thank you very much, Petra, for your introduction. Okay, and I would like to say good afternoon to all the participants who are presenting here at the second international conference. So I would like to share my slide right now. Okay, so first, I just want to ask you whether you can see my slide clearly.
Yes, you can see your slide right now.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So, yeah, my name is Maneth, and I'm an instructor at New Generation Pedagogical Research Center at the National Institute of Education, Cambodia. And I'm very glad to present to all of you the topic entitled Using a Coaching Cycle to Improve Teachers' Performance. Okay, so this is the title of my presentation. So I would like to present to all of you based on the context of mentoring. Okay, so this kind of coaching cycle could be employed by mentors in order to support teachers at their school that they work. And this coaching cycle is a model that a New Generation Pedagogical Research Center used to train mentors, to train teachers to become mentors to work at various schools in our countries. Okay, so please go ahead with me. Okay, so I have only two contents of the presentation. So the first one is about the purpose of classroom observation, and the second one is the components of a coaching cycle. So the reason why I present to you the purpose of the classroom observation is that the classroom observation is one of the components that is related to the coaching cycle. So when we talk about coaching cycle, it involves classroom observation. And we need to know why we need to conduct classroom observations. Because, in Cambodian context, when teachers hear the word classroom observation, they feel reluctant, they feel nervous, they are not confident in themselves. They feel like they need to prepare something in order to show the observer in the classroom rather than teaching their student naturally like they used to do before. So in this case, the word classroom observation could make teachers feel not confident or afraid. But I'm going to show you some of the classroom observation purposes, and this could help change the teacher's mindset, and this could inform the observers, such as mentors, school administrators, school principals, or senior teachers, or the technical team leader, in order to understand the real purpose of the classroom observation, so that it can be used in order to support the teacher's performance in the classroom. Okay, so here are some purposes of the classroom observation. So the first one is to provide constructive feedback to the teacher or to the mentee in order to improve their classroom management and instructional practices. So we observe a mentee or we observe a teacher so that we come up with some feedback in order to help the teachers in the area that they need to improve in their teaching. And we can also illustrate the area of their strengths in order to appreciate their hard work. And the second purpose is to see the interaction between teachers and students in the classroom, because it can determine learning opportunity. So observation is not about sitting in the classroom and do nothing, but it's about using the eyes to see, the teacher's activities and the students' activities, and the interaction between the teachers and the student in the classroom, because this can help tell us that whether the lesson is effective in the classroom or not. So the third purpose of classroom observation is to encourage colleagues to collaborate to improve teacher practice and student learning. Okay, so to improve teacher practice, not only require teachers to attend the conferences, workshops, seminar, or trainings, but classroom observation is also one of the tools that can help support teachers implementation of the lesson. And also, when we can help with the teacher implementation of the lesson well, this can also contribute to the good learning result of the student. So the fourth point of the first purpose of the classroom observation is to help teachers in their continuous professional development. So when we talk about professional development, some people may think that I have to pursue my degree. Some people think that I have to attend workshops, seminars, and conferences in order to develop the profession. But they forget that classroom observation is one form of professional development at their school level. So teachers at the school levels can help each other support the teacher, especially, for example, the senior teachers or experienced teacher or outstanding teacher can help support the novice teacher or young experienced teacher in order to develop their teaching capacity, improve their teaching knowledge by just visiting the classroom, take some notes, and then provide the feedback in order to improve the teachers. This is really practical, and it can be done anytime at the school level among the colleagues at school. And the next purpose of the classroom observation is to have the diagnostic, evaluative, and counseling purposes. So we conduct classroom observation in order to diagnose the symptom, to see what's right, what's wrong, what's going on in the classroom, and then we collect the information or the data from the classroom and evaluate, and then we bring all the data in order to counsel with the teachers. And the next purpose of the classroom observation is to learn good techniques and how to tackle problems from good teachers. So we not only observe novice teacher, but we can also observe experienced teachers. We can observe outstanding teachers, not only, to learn their best practices, to learn their good techniques in the classroom, so that the lesson that we learn from the classroom can be applied to our classroom as well. And the last purpose of the classroom observation is to collect information for prioritizing teachers to be supported. So if you work as a mentor at one school, there will be a lot of teachers. And if you are new to the context, you do not know who needs the support and who doesn't need the support. So conducting the classroom observation can give you the background information that you can decide which teacher should be prioritized to be supported. So classroom observation can give you the data, can give you the information, and can let you choose the teachers to be supported. Because at one school, not all the teachers needs to be urgently supported. But when we conduct the classroom observation, it can tell us who should be supported firstly. Okay, so here are just some purposes of the classroom observations that teachers, mentors, school principals, senior teachers, technical team leader should be aware of. Classroom observation is not about getting into the classroom, observe the teacher, and scold the teacher, put a blame on the teacher when they cannot perform. But the purpose of classroom observation mainly is to support teacher in order to improve their performance. It's not to catch their mistakes, okay, not to put a blame on them, okay, or not. It can be positive this way when you know the clear purpose of the classroom observation. So I would like to present to you the 5 components of the coaching cycle that can be used by mentors, by school principal, or by anyone in order to support teachers at the school level. So the first stage is called pre-observation conference. The second one is classroom observation and data collection. The third one is analysis of the data that we collect from the observation, and post-observation conference. And the last one is coaching cycle reflection. Okay, so let's go with me stage by stage. So the first stage is called pre-observation conference. So, you know, before we get into a teacher's classroom, we cannot just step in the classroom out of the blue without informing them or without the teacher expectation. So the pre-observation stage is the first stage that can help the mentor and the mentee to build trust and to increase collaboration. So it happens before the real classroom observation happens. So mentors and mentees can set an appointment and and chit chat and talk about the lessons that they are going to observe. So at this stage, I mean pre-observation conference stage, mentor has the opportunity to ask specific questions to the mentee. So the mentor can ask the question about the lesson that the mentee is going to teach, and to ask question about the teaching strategy that the mentee selects in teaching a particular lesson, and the assessment methods that the teacher used after teaching the lesson, the material chosen or developed in order to support the teaching process or to achieve the lesson objective, the classroom management techniques that the teacher will use for that particular lesson in order to make sure that the lesson is going well for that particular period of time. And it also provides the opportunity for the mentor to build the relationship, I mean to see the relationship of the lesson, of the previous lesson and the following lessons that they are going to teach and that the mentee are going to teach. So for stage number one as well, you know, mentor can discuss with the mentee regarding the points that the mentee wants mentor to support. So maybe for this stage, the pre-observation conference stage, the mentee find it difficult to manage the group work. So the mentee is struggling with these kinds of problem, and they suggest the mentor to help with the group management when observing the classroom. So this can be a goal set between the mentee and the mentor for the real classroom observation to happen. Okay, so when we set specific goal, it's easy for the mentor to establish the observation tool in order to respond to the mentee's request when they observe. And when they discuss, they can bring specific solutions to the specific problem suggested by the mentee. So for stage number two, it is called classroom observation and data collection. So after the mentor and the mentee meet to pre-discuss about the lesson plan, to pre-discuss about the teaching technique, assessment method, about classroom management technique, and so on. So, and they have already set a specific goal or for the mentor to have observed in the classroom. So here comes the time that the mentor needs to sit in the mentee classroom in order to observe the lesson that has been discussed in the pre-observation stage. So the purpose of this stage is to record observable pattern of teaching and learning tasks. Yeah, so the mentor will be at the back of the classroom, silently sitting down and take note of the activities that are going on in the classroom. And they have brought with them the classroom observation tool in order to record the data or the activities that are going on in the classroom. So the task for the mentors to do during this stage is to record samples of behavior that relate to effective teaching behavior. So it simply means that the mentor can look for the area of strengths. Okay, so what the teacher can do well during this particular lesson. And the mentor needs to collect data systematically and objectively using descriptive language. As I mentioned that in the pre-observation stage, the mentor and the mentee have set the goal. So they have specific or objective goal in order to observe and support the mentee. So the mentor needs to take note of the data or the information responding to the objective that have been set during the pre-observation stage. And the mentor needs to observe for specific behavior that impact on their learning progress. So it simply means that the mentor needs to observe for the areas of improvement of the teacher. What areas that the teachers cannot do well while teaching the lesson, or the teachers are facing the challenges during the lesson. And the mentor needs to use the observation instrument selected in the pre-conference in order to select the data. Yeah, so you cannot, I mean, the mentor cannot just jump in the classroom without any tools to collect the information when observing. So they need to prepare a appropriate instrument in order to collect the data from the classroom observation. And take a short objective and descriptive note of the performance. Yeah, so taking note is very important while observing the classroom. And if possible, incorporate video taping. So video taping allows both mentor and mentee to review the lesson and stop the video at various points. So sometimes we cannot, observe everything that is going on in the classroom. So recording a video of the lesson can be useful data for both the mentor and the mentee to review later on, especially when they need to discuss and when they are not clear. So they can go back to the video, and because, video cannot lie. Okay, video cannot lie. So when we use the video, it can help the mentor and the mentee to see everything that is happening during that particular lesson. And the video can be, sent or given to the mentee to watch before the post-observation conference as well. Okay, so stage number 3, after observing a classroom, it's time for the mentor to do the analysis of the information of the data collected from the classroom observation. So the purpose of this stage is to analyze data, identify teaching strengths and growth areas, and prepare for feedback conference. Yeah, so the mentor need to take some time to review the classroom observation data and organize the information into the area of strengths and the area of improvement, and then need to prepare the feedback for the post-observation conference. So the task is to review the data collected, go through the data from the classroom observation and relate to effective teaching research. So some information or some problems that happen in the classroom may not be easy to solve or to support the teacher. So this can give the mentor the opportunity to go and search for literature review related to that particular problem in order to provide some ideas to the mentor to be ready to share this finding from other researchers in order to solve that particular problem. And identify teaching strengths and professional growth target. Yet, of course, the mentor needs to, make sure that the mentor can, recognize the mentee's strengths and area of improvements of that particular lesson, and develop the approach for the post-conference sessions. Yeah, so prepare the ways that you can talk to the mentee when we meet the mentee after the classroom observation, and outline the conference format. Yes, like structure, how you are going to have the post observation conference with your mentee. So actually at New Generation Pedagogical Research Center, we have trained our mentors how to conduct the post-observation conference with the teacher with certain guidelines, ways of speaking to the mentee as well. Next one is to analyze your notes and prepare for feedback loop in the cycle. Yeah, so you cannot just go and discuss with the mentee without your note, without the preparation, and without the prepared feedback, responding to the area of the improvement of the mentee. So the mentor needs to be ready before talking or meeting the teacher to provide the feedback. And based on the specific data and concrete example, you are now able to interpret the impact of the teaching performance. Yeah, so with all the preparation, yeah, you can help support the teachers. So stage number 4 is called post-observation conference. So after preparing your data, it's time for a mentor to talk to the mentee regarding the lesson that the mentor observed. So the purpose is to enable mentee to reflect on the teaching performance by identifying effective teaching behavior and those that need improvement. So the purpose of post-observation conference stage is to make sure that the mentee become a critical thinker. The mentee become a person who reflects on their teaching. So at this stage, the role of the mentor is to ask questions. So ask critical questions, ask reflective questions for the mentee to think rather than telling what to do, right? So the role as a mentor is not to order, not to force the mentee to follow your idea, but just to make the mentee reflect on the teaching, okay, on his or her teaching. So questioning technique is very useful for the mentor to have the conversation or to have the conference with the mentee regarding the lesson observed. So the task that the mentor needs to do is to establish the conference climate, present the data, share interpretation, encourage critical thinking, give positive and negative feedback, collaborate on alternative positive behavior, and develop for the next develop a plan for the next coaching cycle. Yes, so as I mentioned that the mentor needs to bring the data or the note and start asking the mentee the question to reflect on the area of the improvement and also the area of strength. For example, the example questions that the mentor can use is to ask the mentee that, can you tell me about what you can do well about your lesson? So by asking this question, the mentee will tell you about what he or she did well in the classroom. And another question is, could you tell me the area that you are not satisfied, or the area that you think that you could do again if you have an opportunity to redo the lesson? So by asking these kinds of questions, the mentee will reflect on the lessons that he or she taught last time and tell us about the areas that she lacked of. Okay, so the mentor must provide helpful feedback without being judgmental. Yeah, so as a mentor, your role is not to judge whether, oh, you cannot say that you are a bad teacher, okay, you are a terrible teacher, so you cannot judge the teacher's performance. But your role is to provide, constructive and helpful feedback in order to support the teacher. Your role is not to distract the teacher's motivation, but to support the teacher motivation. So for this stage, again, the mentor needs to ask reflective questions to the mentee so that the mentee can explore the area of strength and the areas of improvement. And let's agree on a particular point for improvement for the next teaching or the next lesson. Okay, and stage number 5. Stage number 5 is called coaching cycle reflection. So this stage is very useful for mentors, because as a mentor, we need reflection as well. As a mentor, we need feedback from our mentee as well. So we do not know. We may not, see ourselves clearly. So we need the teacher's eye. We need the mentee's eye, to help improve our work as a mentor. So the purpose is to identify coaching strengths of the cycle and alternative behavior for mentor to improve mentoring skill. Yeah. So the task that the mentor needs to do is to reflect on the behavior pattern for each stage of the coaching cycle. So in this case, the mentor can ask the mentee to reflect on each stage. For example, stage number 1, the pre-observation conference. So the mentee may like certain points in the conversation, and the mentee may disagree or may not like certain points during the pre-observation conference. For example, the mentors does not use appropriate words, or the mentor tend to be aggressive, or the mentor tend to use authority, to force teachers to follow, like that. So in this case, listening to the mentee's voice regarding our work as a mentor using the coaching cycle can give the feedback to our work to improve our work as a mentor as well. Okay, so ask the mentee what was helpful, what might have happened differently, what needs to happen in the next coaching cycle. Yeah, like this time, like we asked the mentee to tell us what is helpful for them, what is not helpful for them, and what do they want the mentor to do next time when they meet, and so on. And summarize what needs to be reinforced and what needs to be changed. Okay, so this stage give both the mentors and the mentee an opportunity to discuss effectiveness of mentoring process. So, coaching cycle not only support the teachers to improve the teaching performance in the classroom, but coaching cycle can also help improve the mentoring work of the mentor as well, by asking the mentee to provide the feedback regarding our work. So it can be like a coaching cycle can help both the mentor and the mentee. And the ultimate goal is to increase student achievement through effective teaching performance. Yeah, so we use the coaching cycle, we have the mentor, we have the mentee, we support the mentee, we conduct the classroom observation, and so on. Our ultimate goal is to improve the student learning performance, because when we can improve teachers' performance in the classroom, this can impact on the student learning performance as well. So there is a connection. That's why it is very important that school employ mentoring or use coaching cycle, or have mentors, to support a novice teacher in order to improve their teaching performance. So when teachers can perform well in the classroom, students will be happy, and students can learn better with this way. So it's the end of my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. I will try my best to answer the question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Instructor. Thank you for your meaningful presentation. So because of the time constraint, and we also have some questions from our participant in the chat box. And so at the end, I will choose one question from our participant for you because the time limitation. So The question from our participant is from Don Chandun. I don't know his or her. Okay, the question is, how do we create the classroom observation? So please kindly answer this question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Chitra, and thank you, Chandrian, for asking this question. How do we create classroom observation? Of course, at school level, you can create the culture of the classroom observation as well. You can employ this technique, coaching cycle technique, in order to support teacher at the school level. But first, you need to make sure that the teachers or the relevant stakeholder at your school understand the clear purpose of the classroom observation. Okay, the usefulness of the classroom observation. So when they get to understand the purpose of the classroom observation, so they will not be afraid of someone coming into the classroom and observe their class. And you need to also have the observation tool. Like you can see the 5 stages of the coaching cycle. For example, if you want to observe a teacher's classroom, you do not just go to the classroom and get inside the class and observe the lesson without informing the teacher or without any preparation. So you need to get the consent from the teacher and ask the teacher for the time that is possible for you and the teachers to talk, to involve in the pre-observation conference in order to discuss, to build the relationship, to show the real purpose of your observation, and to talk with the teacher what you can help with the classroom observation. So the teacher may tell you something about what he or she is struggling with, and you can notice this and you agree on that particular point, and then you can set the time or the date that both the mentee and the mentor agree for the classroom observation. And remember that as a mentor, you should not make the classroom observation as a threat. Do not make it as a threat, because when you make classroom observation as a threat, teachers will try to pretend. The teacher will try to pretend. Normally, they are not properly prepared. They are not really careful with the lesson. But when they hear that there's an observer coming to the classroom, they are trying to be ready. They are trying to be, perfect in their lesson. So this way, like the teacher is pretending, is faking the activity in the classroom. So when you observe the class, you will not get, the real things that we want to see. Something is like a show to the observer. Why? Because the mentee or the teacher does not trust the mentor. The mentee does not have a good relationship with the mentor. So they are afraid that you are an inspector. You come in order to observe and evaluate and catch the mistakes of the teacher and then put the blame on them. So the teachers are afraid of this because they see classroom observation as threatening environment. But if you as a mentor or as a school principal or senior teachers willing to help teachers, you have to make sure that your teachers or your mentee clearly understand the purpose of the classroom observation, because classroom observation is one of the tools that can develop teachers' capacity. It is one form of continuous professional development. We can make the friendly environment when we observe the classroom. Okay, so that's all for me. Hopefully I can answer your questions. Thank you.